March 21st, 2006. Time of death, 8 a.m. Reason of death, Twitter. News media is dead. You heard it from here first. Take that, CNN. We often call the media and journalists the fourth estate. That's because, as an institution, they hold the responsibility of informing citizens of what their government is doing. The goal of journalism is to uncover hidden truths, and it's to protect citizens from information that otherwise we wouldn't get. It's to make sure that we can make the right decisions and that we can elect the right people to represent us. So I think it's pretty accepted that there's a big problem with media today, but I want to take a look back and wonder why there's a big problem with media. There have been several defining moments in the history of news outlets that have defined how the media operates today, but nothing has changed media more than this one thing: the internet. Facebook and Twitter. News media was faced with a new competitor they'd never seen before. When Facebook and Twitter arrived on the scene, they changed the whole media landscape. News outlets were faced with 1,000 times more information, coming from 1,000 times more competitors than they've ever had in their history. This was a crucial and defining moment for news outlets. But somehow their choices got us to a point where we're talking about fake news all the time, where fucking everything is clickbait. Titles are completely disproportionate to the text. BuzzFeed is news. So how did we get here? Instead of doubling their efforts on having the most credible and verified sources of news available, news outlets instead started playing Twitter's game and racing for the headlines, for the clickbait, not fact-checking. And now we're here. But everyone knows it's like this. You don't trust mainstream media either, right? But what about all this stuff they say about Trump? No, that stuff is true. I mean, he's a clown. Trump, of course. Nah. After all, it's Trump who made the term fake news popular, because he was getting attacked by it constantly. You might not believe it, but it's one of the major reasons why he won. He was able to convince enough people that this was the case, and it was one of the most influential factors in this election. But we're all quick to ridicule him whenever he brings the subject up. Yeah, he blurs out a bunch of alternate facts himself, but what politician hasn't lied? I'm not defending that. That's actually one of the things that I see as a problem with Trump, but what I want to look at right now is our perception of the media. It's the responsibility of journalists to represent the truth. That's their job as the fourth estate, is to inform us properly. If they're doing it with an agenda, if they're sensationalizing the news, if they're taking out nuance or only seeing things from one perspective and not allowing any attention from the other side, we're not getting a balanced view of things. They exist so that we can sift through all the bullshit and understand our world. Now that the media has been criticized for being fake news, instead of proving them wrong, they double down on politically motivated attack pieces. They push out news too early without doing the proper checks because it fits their narrative, and God, they want it to be true. They don't even make an effort of nuancing any of the information that they give you, what evidence they have, what other potential explanations there could be. Ladies and gentlemen, our president has pissed on a bunch of hookers in order to spite former President Barack Obama. This was during his last trip to Russia, where he conspired with his old pal, Vladimir Putin. What evidence do we have of this? Oh, we got the story from BuzzFeed. Fucking BuzzFeed. Fucking BuzzFeed is a news organization in 2017. What the fuck? That's one case of what you might call faux news. The piece stood up to zero journalistic principles, but god damn it did people eat it up, because they wanted it to be true. But it's not always that clear. The most dangerous thing we see in almost all of our media institutions is the complete lack of objectivism. Most of the time, media is going to talk about real news, but they'll show you one perspective. And the way that they show it to you, it's like it should be widely accepted by everyone. They rarely offer any countering arguments or deferring perspectives. So you see this and you think, well, yeah, it's obvious. Trump is going to deport all Mexicans. He hates the gays. Yeah. Obvious. Media sells fear. It's that simple. Everyone knows it. If one of the reports makes you go, whoa. Oh yeah, I guess. Okay. Then you won't stick around and watch the commercials. Take here the example of rape culture on campuses. We're meant to believe that rape is just rampant. Men are going around doors, checking if they're locked, not even knocking, and just raping. To the point where media is urging women in universities to lock their doors, as if men are just going around opening doors and raping. Open and you rape. You open and you rape. What the fuck? I mean, the door was open. She wanted the D. This is the sensationalist view that the media wants us to have here. And they want us to keep talking about it so that we go back and watch their ads. They want to keep us informed, but then not informed enough that we want to switch off because we've understood the subject and we've understood that the risk is extremely relative. They don't want that. So how do they do it? Well, did you ever see a panelist on news media regarding this issue just saying, maybe we're exaggerating with this. Not denying that rape exists, there's most certainly rape that happens, but then to think that it's suddenly cool on campuses and that people are getting raped left and right? Come on. I've never seen a single panel member to this issue just saying, do you think maybe we're exaggerating? Is it that bad of a problem? No, what do? Instead, they push forward exaggerated stats that are taken out of context. We've all heard that 1 in 4 women on university campuses will get raped. Well, yeah, you took a stat from a self-defined feminist activist who widened the definition of rape so much that she even includes unsolicited advances in her rape data. I gotta say, Catherine, you're looking mighty fine today. Oh my god, rape? This is the most dangerous behavior our media has today, because the events reported actually happened. Actually, in this case, somebody accused someone of rape, then refused a rape kit. The events reported most of the time are verifiably not fake, so we trust them, despite the fact that their reporting is extremely biased and that they don't offer a second perspective. The result is agenda-driven news that's extremely credible and empty of nuance that people just eat up. So what do? I think the first step is to be cynical and criticize. Lots of people are doing that. If we could do away with the profit-driven nature of news, the problem of sensationalism and biased reporting would solve itself. However, that's extremely complicated because then we're playing in our whole economic system, and not just that, we all know what government-subsidized media can lead to. Looking at you too, Radio Canada. In the meantime, I think we should pass laws. Journalism and news is too important for our society to give up on it. I think we need to reform some grossly outdated laws and bring them into the modern age. We can pass legislation that penalizes recognized media outlets for clickbait titles. We can force news outlets to present opposing views on every issue. Force them to play devil's advocate. Even if they don't believe in the arguments, at least force them not to give us the impression that there's no other way of thinking and that this is the widely accepted view. For example, rape culture. You want to talk about it? Go for it. But your arguments will be weighed against the skeptic's argument, who's going to be on the same panel as you. And people will be able to make up their own minds in a more honest way because they're going to have a balanced perspective of both sides of the issue, both sides of the medal. Anyways, I'd love to get your ideas in the comments if you think there's any way of changing all this nonsense, or even whether or not you think we even should. Also, if you could do the whole like and subscribe thing, yeah, try doing that. That'd be much appreciated.